Hello, my beautiful people. Your 2023 tarot and astrology readings are up and out there for your purchasing pleasure. So they are the same price. I'm keeping the same price so that they are accessible for everybody. So you can get them for $4.99 a piece, which is like the price of a cup of coffee, basically, or a sandwich, or probably, I don't even think you can get either of those now. Well, thereabouts at this moment in time. So this year, I have included even more knowledge, even more wisdom for you to digest. So as part of those, you will get the numerology overview, the eclipse overview. That is a part that I'm not going to be putting out on any of my other platforms. And it's really important that you see that, because the way that the eclipse is full next year is there's some really juicy tidbits in there. On top of that, you will get the lunation section, which is all about your new moon, your full moon of the year of 2023, and the eclipses and how all of those are going to be impacting your sign. On top of that, you will get the 12-month breakdown, and this year, the 12-month tarot breakdown. And on top of that, this year, I've created a 19 plus, because they're about 19 pages or more, plus page document of astrological knowledge and wisdom, and how the biggest transits of the year are going to be hitting you in your sign. So I have literally, by the way, that's downloadable and printable, so you can have it as like a reference guide for the year ahead. I literally couldn't fit any more into these. We've also made the files smaller this year so that they're easier for you guys to download. I've tried to think of absolutely everything. So you can get one for $4.99. You can get your big three, your sun, moon, and ascendant, for $14.97. So you would select the two that you want, and then at the cart you add the third item so that you get your sun, moon, and rising. Or you can buy the bundle for $24.99, right? Look at that. And then you can download them and send them to all of your loved ones. With that said, I just want to say a massive thank you for allowing me to, from time to time sell you things. Obviously, this is my business. It is how I do my work. So thank you so much for listening. If you want to get those, you can do so on the link in the description box below. For those of you that do purchase and support my work, I thank you so deeply and humbly from my heart to yours. I really hope you have a wonderful 2023, and I really hope that you love them as much as I did creating them. Take care, and then let's get to your week ahead taroscope. Hi Leo, welcome to your week ahead taroscope. Thank you so much for being here. Your key to the week this week is the Devil card. All right, so what are your vices? Is there something that you need to get a hold of this week? Do you have a bad habit or something that you keep returning to or leaning on? Or maybe even a pattern or a cycle that you hold to when things get frustrating or when you get a little bit sort of antsy. Very often the Devil card comes up to highlight to us or to show us where we can let something go. Now, that's the heavier side of this card. Obviously, we're talking about addictions, obsession, all of that kind of stuff. The heavier sort of emotions and ties. However, on the brighter side of this energy, the message is, this is about finding that healthy obsession. It's where you start to get obsessed with looking after yourself, your health and your fitness. It's where you start to really dedicate more of your spare time to learning that new subject or researching that new outlook. It's also where you hold to something no matter what else comes up in your life to sway you, and that's where the Devil card really shows its beauty, its power, and its strength. It kind of highlights to you where you need to lean into something, or where you're leaning into something so hard that you don't have time to notice the distractions, you don't have time to whinge, you don't have time to complain, you don't have time to get distracted from whatever it is that is more important to you. So this week the Devil card can work in two ways, right? It can either be highlighting the thing that's holding you back, which in itself is kind of a blessing, because when you know that something is holding you back or stopping you progressing, once you know it, you can spot it, and once you can spot it, you can stop doing it. Or the other side of this is that you are literally obsessed with making something happen, and this is about channeling all your energy into one specific path or making something real, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Remember, this card, as a major arcana card in the astrology of it, it represents Capricorn. So this is about really, if you've never noticed that, you can never knock a Capricorn off the path that they've decided that they're going to follow regardless. That is literally that's literally Capricorn energy. So how this devil card shows up for you this week is really going to depend on how you choose to meet it. With that said, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your actions and options this week, you have the Hermit card. So look, right, some of you are putting yourself into self-imposed exile this week. So if you haven't seen it, obviously check out that Universal Year 7 video that I put out just recently. It'll explain a lot, right? It's clear that you're already feeling these kinds of energies. So this week you might feel more like being alone. You might feel more like sort of being separate or taking time out for yourself, focusing on what you think is important to you. This could also be a time where you decide, because it is the Hermit card, to go on some kind of journey or to go on some kind of quest that you know is going to require you to change pretty much everything. I don't know why, but the feeling that I know why, but you know what I mean. The feeling that I get from this is this week you are going to have a wake-up call. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're, battling an addiction, although some of you may be, but this is the wake-up call that you need. It's a wake-up call in that you are picking or choosing a path, and it's like you're not allowing anything or anyone to sway you on that. And if that means walking a lonely path and doing it on your own, I will do it, no problem. I love this. I think it's really potent. For your communications and conversations, you've got the Hanged Man. This is a week to be about it, not talk about it. All right. Like this is literally a week where, because the Hanged Man is literally like, yes, it's delays and all the rest of it, but it's a reassessment, a reevaluation. So some conversation that you're having this week with a friend, a partner, a loved one could really help you reframe something or see something in a different way. And that helps you lean into what you need to get focused on or what you're needing to be single-minded about right now. Now, what's really interesting to me here, and I'm going to talk about this in a moment, but what's really interesting to me also with this is it suggests that this week you're not talking about what you're going to do. It's not like, and most of the time people that talk a lot about what they're going to do never get shit done at all. All right, so like this week it's time to be about it rather than talk about it, whatever that might mean to you. For those of you, now this is where this gets interesting, right? The Hanged Man, yes, it's Neptune, but it's got Pisces energy, coupled with the Hermit card, right? And the Hermit card is Virgo energy. So these two are direct opposites in the zodiac. And what this really says to me is when it comes to your actions and what you're talking about is your actions that you need to pay more attention to. And this week it's not about talking about what you're going to do, it's just about getting on with it and doing it. When it comes to those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, look, if you're a student, there's always a party going on, there's always something going on, but this week you could take it too far and you could really end up overindulging. It's the Hanged Man card with the Devil card. That's like escapism to the extreme. So be mindful of that. When it comes to those of you that are employed by somebody else, this week it kind of feels like it's almost like there are so many distractions that will surround you this week. I got to be really honest with you. I feel like there are going to be many distractions. So whatever path you've already set out on, Leo, this week you are going to have to exercise self-control and willpower like never before. Dig deep into that leonine heart of yours because it's what's going to help you get ahead. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, or people that work for themselves, like I said, through a friend or a loved one, there's going to be some conversation this week that really gets you to see things in a different way. And it might see you changing a direction of some sort, especially because you've got the Hermit card. So it's like, okay, you know what? I want to make this change. Let me pull back from everything and everyone so that I've got no distractions and I can really hear my own voice speak. What do I always say to you when the Hermit shows up, the high priestess, should I say, your intuition has a message for you. For those of you that are retired and no longer working, this would be a really good week to delve into your spiritual path and practice. If you don't have one, this would be a really good week to start looking at and researching what you think actually feels like it resonates with who you are. For your love and relations, you've got the Page of Cups. So this with the Hanged Man card can speak to Pisces season, but on its own, especially in the love sector with the devil card, like this week, for those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, you could almost want to be absorbed into or disappear into your partner. That is just another form of escapism, and it's also another form of distraction. This week, the biggest thing that you need to overcome is your distractions, right? What is it that is getting in the way of you doing what needs to be done? When it comes to those of you that are partnered or married in love commitments, the partner and the connection is very much on your mind this week, but it's almost like you could be obsessing about that somehow. For those of you that are single, you know, I joke about this all the time, like I'm profoundly single and I've been single forever, it feels like. Yeah, okay, you know, I crack jokes and stuff about it, but I realise, to be honest with you, at the moment, I've actually got too much to do. I really don't have the mental capacity, let's say, to, do you know what I mean? So, yeah, if you're single, I mean, if you are connecting with someone, it'll be something truly heartfelt. And if you are connecting with someone, they're likely to be older than you. On the healthier side of this, if you are single and you've been single for a long time, this could be a week where you say, actually, you know what? I'm going to start making a concerted effort in truly having a relationship, or being more present, or more able, more available, you know, both for my partner, if you have one, and also, you know, for the potential of finding one, if you like. This is the thing, sometimes the thing that we want, we've actually been driving away, but we don't see it, and this could be a week where you see it. For your money and materials, you have the Justice card, so you've got big cards here this week, Leo. When it comes to your finances and your money, be very mindful of contracts that you sign when it comes to money, finances, and resources. Especially because you've got this with the Hanged Man. If you're going for a job, if there are new things popping up, this is a week where you just want to make sure you're reading the fine print and that you're totally happy with everything. Also, don't overextend yourself financially. Like if you're thinking to yourself, oh, you know, well, in order to do this, I could probably take a loan. You're already on pretty thin ice, all right? This is a week to be very mindful of that kind of stuff. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, this is, especially with these cards here, that is a potential to overindulge. And so if you are partial to a drink or a tipple, this week you could really go to town and you'll probably end up feeling it. For those of you that are, for your home and environment, I mean, this is nice because it suggests that you really are committed to making your living experience the best that you can have. Unfortunately, it does look like there are some delays on things that you're trying to get off the ground, all right? With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.